And we are live. What's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome. Y'all know what time it is. DL saying I really want to know podcast, but I'm glad y'all here. I'm so glad y'all here. Doing a quick sound check. You know what I mean? I'm getting better at that. Remember, it used to take me like 2 minutes to do a sound check, y'all, and now I can just get it done like that. I'm getting better at this shit, y'all. I'm getting better. What's good? How y'all feeling? Happy, what's today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. It's the third day of 2023. I hope the year's going good for you. Like I said, my year starts off like all my years start off. I get kicked in the mouth right off rip. It's like, yay, Happy New Year. I'm getting beat up on, but it's all good. It's all good. Sister Candace in the house already. What's good, love? What's good? Happy New Year to you. Good to see you. I've been out doing what doing what we do. So yeah, good to see you. Well, we jumped on last night. Well, I'm a big football fan, man. Huge Cincinnati Bengals fan. I'm from Cincinnati. Been a Bengals fan my whole life. And we're doing good. We got a really good football team. Like, dare I say we have the beginnings of a dynasty? Fingers crossed. But during the game last night, and it was late in the first quarter, a player for the Buffalo Bills, it was Cincinnati Bengals playing the Buffalo Bills in Cincinnati. Damar Hamlin is his name, defensive back. Really sharp athlete, young man, 24 years old. It appears he had a heart attack or of some sort. At some point, his heart stopped beating on the field. Medical personnel were there as always. The trainers always come out when a player goes down. It was a routine tackle. He made a good tackle, and he got up, maybe took a step or so, and then he collapsed on the field. Trainers always come out when they see stuff like that, but when they came out, they knew they were dealing with something unusual, even for them, and it was very tough to watch. And it was very difficult to watch. The coaches decided not to continue the game, and then NFL backed the coaches at some point. And we did a show on that last night. I jumped on live while that was going on, and it was a pretty good show. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. And it says pray for Damar Hamlin in the thumbnail. In which we kind of break down who he is, talk about his scholastic career and how he got into the NFL and what he's been doing with the NFL. Really good. It was a really good stream, about 50 minutes. And it is what it is. So we're just gonna follow up on that with this particular show, and then we're gonna talk about moving forward, what this may mean for the NFL, what this may mean, for our sports culture moving forward. And Skip Bayless, who commentator, he's well known in the space. He sent out a tweet. We're going to talk about his tweet, and we're going to talk about the fallout from that tweet. And so it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty good show. We're going to talk about that. So that's what it is. Sister Candace, I tend to liken Skip Bayless to Stephen A. Smith. Neither knows when to shut the heck up. I agree with you there. I'm not a fan of either. I'm not really big in the sports world like that. I don't really care. But we're going to get into Skip Bayless in particular. And he's no stranger to controversy. And let's just keep it 100. Most athletes, in my opinion, don't like the man. So, and then that kind of plays into what's going on now. Lady Novoa's in the house. What's good, love? Welcome. Miss AKA ladies in the house as well. What's good? Good evening. Good evening to you, love. And guys, I am 56 watch hours away from being monetized on YouTube. Miss AKA lady, I got your message. Yo, it's crazy. I know people are watching, but it's been like 18 hours and we've only had 2 view hours. So, it is what it is. We're going to just keep it rocking. You know what I mean? We're close. I don't see this taking more than a week to get, to check the box to be monetized. And then I don't know how long the process is going to take after I am eligible, where we are eligible to be monetized. So it hopefully won't take that long. We got Brother Smeebles in the house. Good day, man, coming in from down under, all the way from Australia. What's good, brother? Good to see you. Act Ozzy in the house as well. What's up with you, fam? Miss AKA Lady 56. That's totally impossible. Hey, man, we don't know how they run their thing. And y'all know I do a lot of red pill stuff and manosphere stuff. And I think that YouTube kind of, isn't big on that. I'm not saying they're suppressing my content, but yeah, something's going on. So we just going to keep watching it. Hey, maybe tomorrow it'll pop, right? Maybe tomorrow it'll pop. So we're going to talk about what's going on. And I got a real special guest who's going to join us today. This is my guy. Y'all seen him on this platform before. This is my road dog in the comedy world, in the entertainment business. I've been in the trenches with this guy for years and years and years out there in LA when I was out there living that crazy life, that vida loca, you know what I mean? And we've just been best of friends, and we still are. So, ladies and gentlemen, man, make some noise for my man, Ty Barnett in the house.
Yo, what up, man? How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, bro. I mean, bro, look at you, man. You look like a Malcolm X Common hybrid, man, with your Wu-Tang shirt on, man.
Man, it's weird, dude. The older I get, the less clothes I want to put on. So, like, I get dressed for comfort. So, the Scully, the T-shirt, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. If I could wear this out in public, if I could perform in this, I would perform in this, bro. So, yeah, man.
And we're looking at the background like, that's right. I told y'all, Ty, he ain't playing, bro. Look like he's sitting in studio, which he is. Ty has a real nice home studio. Yo, what's your page again, man? Let's plug that at the front of the show, and we'll plug it again at the end.
If you go on YouTube, it's a few things that I decided to do at the beginning of the year, and to really focus on the brand of Ty Barnett. Because, stand-up wise, like, people have known me for certain things, but like, and you know this, we talked about it over the years. Over the years, I've built this thing here behind me. It started with one camera and a janky tripod to now, I don't know how many cameras I got now, green screen, audio stuff is set up. Like I told you, I do everything from the filming to the writing to craft services, bro. But what I decided to do was really channel this into something. So what's coming in, it should be coming up in the next week or two, is the official launch of the Ty Barnett brand, and all the things that fall under the umbrella of that, whether it be stand-up, the sketch show, this is the bullshit I'm talking about, the podcast that I have with Ian, Critical and Thinking, but everything is going to be like a one-stop shop where then you can get connected from the website, you can get connected from the YouTube page. So all of this will be under the umbrella of everything that I've done that comes from here. It gets put out here, So you can go right now. You can find stuff on YouTube at Comedian Ty Barnett. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on Instagram. And the website, the official website, is Comedian Ty Barnett.
Man, that's what's up. And you forgot one show that falls under that umbrella, and that show you can find is going to be on his platform and mine. It's called Man, I Don't Know. It's me and Ty Barnett. We're going to be talking about Hollywood. Great. So we got that coming up.
That's right. Get ready, ladies.
Get ready, y'all. We're going to be talking about all things Hollywood, getting crazy with it, man. So, yeah. And again, that's a working title. Man, I Don't Know. We're going to get that going probably next week. It'll be the first episode over here. And, yeah, you'll be able to find out on both platforms. So,
definitely. I'm excited, bro. I told you. I'm excited, and you gave him the quick backstory of our friendship and everything. So, but this will be the first thing, aside from the shows you used to produce, this will be the first time that we've worked on a project together other than stand-up.
That's facts. That's facts. When I was in LA, I would always have shows popping up or would know about shows, and Ty knew about shows, so we always hit each other up. Hey, man, let's run over here and do this show. Oh, I got this show over there. Why don't you come over here and do that? And it was always a blast. Or we'll just go hang out, grab a drink. You know what I mean? Be at the Well. Shout out to them. Is the Well still open?
Yeah, still there.
Word?
But so, I don't think we would go there now. I think it's a different clientele there now. But it's still there. I mean, every once in a while I'll pop my head in. I mean, they still do a comedy night on their Tuesdays, I think, with Adam Hunter.
Word.
I'm sorry. Did you say the Dime or the Well?
I said the Well, but you're talking about the Dime.
Yeah, the Dime. Yeah, that's where I don't go. But the Well, most definitely. I was just there probably like a month ago.
Shout out to them. If I ever make it back to LA, we definitely got to go there, bro. Because I stay at the W right around the corner from there, like right up the street.
Walking distance.
Right. So if I doubt if I walk, man, because I'm hearing the stories out there, bro. Y'all got zombies and they got zombies with guns out there, bro. I don't know, man.
And you know what Hollywood is, and you know, I guess we would do it more when we launch the other show. Is the thing with Hollywood, man, it still has the mystique of it's Hollywood. Like you're excited that it is Hollywood. Movies are made here. People's quote unquote dreams come true here. So that thing is still there. But when you go into the city of Los Angeles, the city of Hollywood, and you know you've known this for a while, it's not what people see on TV. And so it's worse now, and in the sense of unless you go to certain spots, like the Well is different. Like I go to the Well, I do my thing, have my drink, listen to my music, and then I bounce. There's no hanging out after crazy shit. But what they're also trying to do is gear it towards a younger audience. So like you see people in their 20s and 30s that think that shit's cool.
Man, it ain't nothing but dangerous.
The guns are cool, bro.
Right, it ain't nothing but dangerous, bro. Here's the thing about Hollywood, you know, like you could be walking around, it's the Walk of Fame, it's like, oh, is that Stevie Wonder's star? Like, yeah, that's Stevie Wonder's star, and right next to it is a grown man taking a dump. Welcome to Hollywood.
Exactly. And Stevie can't see him taking a dump on his star.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that, man. Oh man, I don't know. That's a working title. And make sure y'all be there for our first show. We'll put the thumbnail out when we update the time. And you guys come because we might be playing around with the title. We might want to call it something else, and we'll ask y'all help on on what to name the show. So be looking for that, y'all. So let's get into this, bro. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. We got Nightish in the house. What's good, fam? You know what I mean? Miss AKA Lady Ty Barnett. I remember you from Last Comic Standing. Hey, I remember him from that too. Hey. Ty had me there hanging out. We got Miss Globe Girl in the house. What's good, my favorite sailor? Hello to you. Welcome. So, all right, let's start from the beginning here, man. We're going to talk about what's going on with Skip Bayless and what's all this about, right? So here it is. We're going to start right away with we're going to do an update, just a live update on Brother DeMar Harris, who was the football player who suffered the injury last night. So, and this is from CNN. Buffalo Bills safety DeMar Hamlin, 24, remains in critical condition Tuesday after suffering cardiac arrest mid-game on Monday night, his team said, right? So, and that would have been like mid-quarter. They were still in the first quarter, towards the end of the first quarter. The NFL said the game between the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals will resume this week, and that no decision has been made. I'm sorry, will not resume this week. Correction, will not resume this week, and no decision has been made about playing it at a later date. Hamlin collapsed during the game, and his heartbeat was restored on the field, the Bills said. He was taken to a Cincinnati hospital. So the brother had a cardiac arrest. He made a hell of a tackle. That's what he's known for. He's a good safety. Made a hell of a tackle. T. Higgins made a catch. T. Higgins was trying to advance the ball. Brother DeMar made a great stop. Normal routine tackle. Stood up, took a step, maybe two steps, and then he collapsed. And then now we know that actually his heart did stop on the field. And the trainers who were there on the scene were doing CPR and had to use a defibrillator to get his heart started again. All this was going on the field, surrounded by all of the players from both teams. And the entire stadium was quiet. It was quiet enough you could hear a pin drop. And they had an ambulance right there on the field, and they did, in fact, take Brother Hamlin off to the hospital where he's still fighting for his life. He's in critical condition. Please, prayers and well wishes for Brother Hamlin and his family. So that's what happened last night. Apparently, everyone's gonna, speak on it. Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless we're gonna get into who he is in a moment, but we're gonna start off with what he did. We're gonna start with that. And I asked Ty Barnett to join us. Ty, you know a little bit about Skip.
Yeah. I've known Skip ever since his cold pizza days, where and it really was just about him giving his opinion on stuff. So and I think his opinions were looked at so lightheartedly that I don't think he had the same vitriol that he has today. You know what I'm saying?
He kind of calmed down a little bit with old age. He calmed down a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. I think before our perception of it was just like, oh, here's a guy just talking, whatever, whatever. I think he's gotten a little bit more cantankerous as he's gotten older, and I think we've noticed it more because there's a spotlight on everything now.
Yo, you just said cantankerous.
Yes. I'd be
I'm
trying
just, you know what I mean?
I'd be trying to use these words that I would never use in any other situation when I can use them. Cantankerous. I would never use cantankerous
See
if
what?
I was actually with somebody at the store. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, y'all. See, do y'all see what happens when you play way too many rounds of Words with Friends or wherever that damn game is?
Man,
I'm
listen,
just,
bro. Hey,
I'm just saying,
I promised myself a long time ago I would stop letting spell check finish my text for me, and if there was words
what's
that I
wrong
could
with
use,
that?
now, hey, the same thing that's wrong with us when it comes to driving across country. If we don't put on our GPS, a lot of us are fucking lost. So, nope. I'm like, when it comes to words, you know, I work with words. I build my career off of words. So I'm like, I would try to use them when they're appropriate. And when it comes to Skip Bayless and his attitude lately, I would say he's cantankerous. Because, you know, he has
look at Act Ozzy. I'm
I'm
out here Googling cantankerous.
Right, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just not pretentious with it like T.I. is. Like I won't be throwing in just big words for no fucking reason. So
Hey, bro, T.I. sound like he just got out the pen. He be using them words. Yeah.
Exactly. The similarities of the polarity of the congestion. I'm like, okay, man, I just asked you how you were doing today. So
right.
I think
I just asked you what time does the number 3 bus come. That's all I asked. What time does the number 3 bus come?
Exactly. You gave me this dissertation on the lanes. I don't know what the fuck that was. So I think with Skip though, man, he has a reputation of someone that people do listen to him. They do listen to him. And he's, you know, and I'm sure you'll bring this up. I'm sure you'll bring this up. There you go. Thank you, Miss Globe. There you go. Cantankerous. She said cantankerous is a regular word. I love it. I love it.
It is not. It's not. Know the saying. You can get the dude out the hood, but you can't quite get the hood out the dude. That's this guy right here. Not this guy right here. This guy right here. Yeah. That's. But continue, my brother.
You know that would probably blow somebody's mind if I said that to a white dude. Like, man, pretty cantankerous out here with the Wu-Tang shirt on. I'm like, what the? Wait, so you know what Wu-Tang is and cantankerous? Yeah, so, but yeah, man, I feel like I think with Skip, what we tend to do, and you and I talked about this before. There's a difference between, and you said it actually perfectly. So I want your listeners to hear how you said it perfectly when it comes to experience versus knowledge. And then I'll say it on this side, and then you can give them the example you gave because I thought that was perfect. I think Skip Bayless has a lot of sports knowledge. Like no one can doubt that he has a lot of sports knowledge. That's what he does for a living. But he has little to no experience. And go ahead. I think the way you put it was perfect when it comes to like being a rancher.
Right. So you guys know that I'm always talking about military stuff, right? I'm absolutely proud of my military experience. So when I look at someone like Skip Bayless is that guy, like in the military world, who can tell you everything about being a paratrooper in the United States Army. He can tell you about the equipment. He can tell you where the equipment comes from. He can tell you about the missions. He can tell you about the atmosphere. He can tell you about the aircraft that you use because all that stuff is written down. He can tell you about the training. There are men out there who could tell you all these things because they read it, they study it. But the one thing that they can't tell you what it's like to throw yourself out that door. They can't tell you that. They can't tell you what it's like to go through that opening shock. They can't tell you what it's like to hit that drop zone and then start the mission. And that's what Ty was talking about. And there, you know what? The world is full of those people. You want to be a tech person? That's great. You know what I mean? But there's a huge difference. So, and I think that's where a lot of the pushback comes from those pro athletes. They're out there. They've lived the life. They've done the thing. And then you got like a Skip Bayless or what's the name of the other guy? System up here early on in the show, Stephen A. Smith. So like the Skip Baylesses and the Stephen A. Smiths of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think I understand that. So let's get into exactly what he said and why he said it. You know what I mean? All right, this like might be big enough to run. So this is from the New York Post. NFL players, NBA players, and retired pro athletes are all calling for Skip Bayless to be fired for comments he made in the aftermath of the Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffering a cardiac arrest on the field during Monday Night Football game. After the Bills-Bengals game was suspended in Cincinnati, the undisputed host took to Twitter to chime in on the decision. I'm sorry, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? Bayless tweeted as a medical person tended to Hamlin on the field in Cincinnati. This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is critical to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. That's the tweet that he sent out. And the article to talk about how who he is, and he's had run-ins with Shannon Sharp and Jalen Rose and just about everyone else. Sherman from an NFL guy. It goes on to talk about that. But with that said right there, Ty, like, what's your take on that right away? Like that tweet right there, right? So you got what's your thought on that?
In reading that, like, you can look at it a couple ways. Like, we both agreed that the timing is just shitty. It is just shitty, period. Unless the only tweet that should go out at that moment is prayers and condolences. Not condolences, because they don't know if he's dead. But prayers and thoughts and prayers, right? That's the only thing that should really go out at that moment, because you saw, the medical staff come out, the ambulance and all that stuff, the machines and all that. So there should not be anything in reference to anything other than wishing that player well and to be recovered. But if you're looking at the technical side of that, what he tweeted, it could be read that he's saying, man, how are they going to cancel this game? Because it is an important game. But he also says in there, which is irrelevant in reference to this person's life. So I don't look at it as totally callous and harsh. I look at it like bad timing. You could have worded it another way, but I don't think he was. From what I saw, it didn't look like he was saying, "Oh man, get that dude off the fucking field so we can play the game." I think he was saying it like, "Yo, man, how are they gonna move past? It's an important game. This just happened. How do you play football after this?" How he meant it, I don't know for sure because I'm not in his head. I'm just saying it could be seen a couple different ways.
It could be. And like when I, looking at that tweet, my biggest thing is the first thing I told to Ty when we talked about this. I'm like, bro, like it's, what I mean? Like it's tone deaf. Like, right. Here's a man on a field whose heart stopped beating, and they're frantically trying to get his heart started again. And you're talking about playing a football game. Now, having said all that, I try to be fair as I can. You know what I mean? Let's try to unpack it a little bit, right? I was sitting in front of the TV watching the game live because I am a fan of one of the two teams that were playing. I watched the hit. I watched the tackle. I watched him stand up. I watched him collapse. And then all of the grown men, these hard football players, begin to cry like children, right? And I'm not saying that as a slight. Like, these men were crying. Like, really, you can see that something's wrong, bro. And I don't mean that as a slight, because I've cried like a little kid too when I've seen some really bad things happen in life. You see somebody you care about get hurt, or you see someone lose their life or whatever. You're in a situation where things get hot. I've seen it. So that's not a slight to those men. But then they broke away to a commercial. Then they came back. And the ESPN commentators, the people in the studio in New York, they didn't want to talk about it. The commentators at the game, they didn't want to talk about it. They went to another commercial. And then they came back. Now both teams are on the field surrounding this brother and all of the medical people. And there's an ambulance there on the field. At this point, I knew it was something really bad. Everyone has tears. Everyone has this look of concern. The stadium is quiet. I'm looking at all this. I'm like, this is a problem. This isn't the normal someone broke an arm, broke a leg, something got dislocated or twisted around, or someone is like maybe paralyzed. Like, this is serious. And when I did my live stream, I talked about it a lot. I was saying I fear the worst. I've never seen anything like this on the NFL level. I've seen it at high school level, but I've never seen it at NFL level.
Right.
So did he see all this, or was he somewhere else working on an article, typing up something, and just reading a feed?
Right.
That part I don't know. And that does make a difference. You know what I mean? If he watched all this stuff and he sees all this stuff going on and he sends that message, like basically, let's get the game going, it's important to figure out who's going to be in the playoffs. Mind you, both these teams are going to the playoffs. Doesn't matter. The Bengals and the Bills are both in. It's only a matter of what seed, right? So, that's not worth continuing a game. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely more concerned with this young man's life at this point than I am about anything else that's going on in that moment.
Right.
So that's why it was so tone deaf, that tweet. So, if he didn't see all this and he sent the tweet, I'll give him a pass. But if he was sitting there watching what I was watching and still sent this tweet out talking about the NFL's not going to let them play, but they should play, as if these men are somehow less than because they care about, right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure that he was saying it. I'm not sure that he was saying it like, get them up off the field and continue. Because, again, he says in there, they're no doubt going to stop this game. But how? How will they stop it, knowing how important the game is, knowing the timing of the year of the game, when this dude's life hangs in the balance? Now, again, I don't know for sure that that's exactly how he meant it. I would hope that that's how he meant it, because otherwise you seem like a heartless piece of shit.
Right.
But if it was just this thing of, hold on, there is no game, there's no season, there's no league without play. Exactly. So that's why I think it could be, it could be read a couple of ways. Again, like I said, if he meant it in that callous way, there should be repercussions to that, because now, bro, you pushing it with the, with all the bullshit here.
And I'll read it for you one more time. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game.
Right.
And it's like a dash. But how? Question mark. You know what I mean? And then he continued, this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome. ... Which suddenly seems so irrelevant.
Right there.
So,
right there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it could, and again, I told you I'm not a Skip Bayless apologist at all, because I told you I got an issue with how he talked to Shannon Sharp. But just looking at the words of it, and again, we're just going, this is what I do with words, because I have, we think about it even with jokes. One word could change the difference of a joke and how it's received and how it's delivered and all that stuff. So my brain only works that way, to look at how it is with words. That the two things where he says, but how, and then the part where it says, which seems so irrelevant
now. Right. So he did understand the magnitude of the situation.
Right. And that's why I think that, again, the timing is off, and you still shouldn't have said anything other than, man, my prayers are with this kid, full stop. Because it could have been like, I'm sure he would, there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't, he comments on games, but he doesn't have all access passes. So you don't know if I'm sure he wasn't on the field. So he didn't see everything that was going on and experience that way. He probably experienced it the same way everyone else did at home, watching on TV. It just should have been something where he, either thought it out better or waited. Because, now you'll have moments like this where people are going to dissect his words. To the other thing, we're going to talk about, hold on, he did clarify himself and said other games, when he said other players have gotten seriously, et cetera, have been
hurt or paralyzed, et cetera. Yeah. And
So
that's from Brother Marcus. But real quick, we got Brother Marcus, we got Ack Ozzy in here, we got Nightish, we got Wonderful 34 all in the house. What's good, y'all? What's good? Thanks for jumping in here. Y'all see what we talking about. Just want to get that out right now. But yeah, go ahead, Ty. Sorry to cut you off.
So I feel like again, I don't think he meant it. I personally don't think he meant it that way. But if he did, exactly, so he should have stopped. But how? That's
right.
But see now, no. He could have stopped it at that. But how? Because that is a good question. He could have asked the question, but you probably would have had some people reading into that too.
Yeah, because Miss AKA lady is saying he should have stopped before. But how? He should have stopped that. He should have stopped that. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game.
Oh, I got you.
Full stop.
Yeah, I got
full
you.
stop. He should have stopped right there. But then it's like the but how part. And it's funny. This is the reason why I hate texting people.
I know.
Because you know what I mean? Because it's like I didn't mean that. But it's out there.
It's hard. It's hard to read. Like you don't know the proper use of an exclamation point. A period. Even though, like I said, as a in English, of course, what these things mean. But in text, sometimes you're like, it's like, yo, when you coming through? Question mark. When you say, yo, when you coming through? Question mark! Exclamation point. Like, God damn, what you mean when am I coming through? Calm down. You know what I'm saying? So it could be the huge difference in those things. But I do agree that he should have just he definitely should have just left it where it was or worded it much better than that. To the other thing, I don't think he should be canceled. I know he won't be canceled. I know that for sure. I know that.
And why do you say that? Why do you say he won't get canceled?
One, he's a white dude in America on a sports show on Fox. He ain't getting canceled, bro. They ain't doing that shit. The parent company is also the company that has people on a certain part of the country that want to dismiss what happened on January 6th. He ain't getting canceled. He may have to publicly come out and say, hey, just so you guys know, that's not how I meant it, blah, 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 blah. But there is no way they're canceling a white dude in America talking about sports on Fox. That ain't
right. So when he sent that tweet, he got jumped on immediately. You know what I mean? So there's Bryant. He was like, are you seriously talking about when the football game should be postponed? Damar Hamlin's health is all that matters at the moment, nothing else. It's like we need to cancel Skip Bayless. That was the tweets that were put out there. And it was like Isaiah Thomas, one of the GOATs in basketball. I hope they fire you, bro. For when you even think of the game is sad. For you to even think of the game is very sad. There were so many tweets that went out right away. There was someone in there who made a tweet about, talking about the tone. They said something to the thought that he should learn to read the room.
Right. Yeah. That we can all agree on. They're like 1,000%. That it's what it's like, bro. It's like with the Brittany Griner situation when people said like, we debated the laws of Russia, we debated whether women get paid enough in the WNBA. We debated all that stuff. But the thing that wasn't up for debate was that it was foolish to have weed in Russia. So we knew that for sure. That was the general consensus across the board. Even if you were pro Brittany, you said that. Same thing with this. You can break down the words of what he meant, but we all agree that, hey, man, like you said, read the room. It's tone deaf. You probably should have waited to give any opinion on this other than our thoughts are with him.
Yes, and I think it was Ack Ozzy who said this in the chat. Prior to his controversial tweet about postponing the game, Bayless did say he said a prayer for Hamlin and his family, and no one's talking about that tweet. So prior to he said about the postponement, he did say to say a prayer for Hamlin and his family. And like to Ms. AKA lady's point, he should have stopped there. At that point, I don't think I would have said anything else about anything, but he didn't. So let's get into I guess I should show this. I'm sitting here still going through the article. Let's get into the apology. Right, let's get into the apology. So it said Not exactly sure what happened to Damar Hamlin. Bayless tweeted, amid the tragic scene on Monday night, players on both teams are shaking on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. So I think he put that out first. I think, and then he went on to talk about the games being continued or whatever. It was just tone deaf, bro. And he continued. He's like, I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on the football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For those players, this was different. So this is still him.
Did that come out first?
Okay.
If that came out first, I honestly, this is, and again, I told you, I am not a Skip Bayless apologist, but I am a person that, like I said, I have to look at it for what I see. I can only go off of the words I see in front of me. And if we're going off of that, if those are his words, especially if those came beforehand, then I feel like, all right, man, he should have left it at, again, thoughts, he could have left it at that. But when people are calling for his job and doing all this, I get so mad at people, man. Pick and choose your outrage, bro, and stay across the board with it. Stay across the board with your outrage. Don't cherry pick when you're mad at something. I've seen so many of these cats do way worse shit than use words, and they still keep their jobs. I've seen these people say worse shit. There's a dude, and you know I'm not gonna go deep in it because I promise you we're gonna talk about sports only. But there's a dude who right now is being considered to again be the head of the country after too much shit to even list on the show. We talking about between the words he said, his actions, the violence he's incited, the people he's gotten killed, and the people he's gotten arrested. And they're still thinking about putting that dude back in charge of some shit after stealing top secret documents. My whole point, Skip Bayless ain't the problem. Skip Bayless ain't the problem, bro. If you're gonna police people's words, be across the board with it, which is fine. Because I don't agree with people being able to just say fucked up shit about people. I don't. I feel like too many people have hid behind that. Too many people have hid behind, oh, it's my freedom of speech. I have the right to say this because then you'll have a faction of people that will support this. Say, yeah, he should be able to use the N-word whenever he wants to use it. I don't believe in that. I believe in being held accountable for your words when you're trying to be harsh and you're trying to be a shitty person. This doesn't sound like he was trying to be a shitty person. This just sounds like he was very tone deaf.
Just tone deaf, and that shouldn't get you canceled. You know, like Wonderful 34, like what's up, people? What's up, Mr. DL and the Joes? What's up to you, bro? I'm just catching up on some of these I highlighted. Sister Candace, Skip Bayless is not above reproach. Will his forced apology be accepted? And if not, what are the consequences? And that's what we're looking at now. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like it's being accepted.
You know what they're gonna look at? They're gonna look at hold on, if it's Skip and Steven, they claim that,
I'm gonna read it in a second. Just go ahead with your thought. I'm gonna read it in a second.
They're gonna look at the bottom line, bro. They're gonna look at the money. Fox Sports is gonna look at the money. And if Skip Bayless makes them enough money and has been making them a shit ton of money, Skip Bayless ain't going nowhere. I can promise you that. That's what matters to them, because they're going to look at the magnitude of the situation and they're going to look at the revenue stream. So they're going to say, well, if he still generate, because even as negative as press as he's getting, you know what's going to happen tomorrow? You know what's going to happen tomorrow when Undisputed comes on TV. Millions of people are going to watch it.
Absolutely.
Just to see how he's going to respond after that.
Yeah, millions of people who weren't watching from the beginning. So I get your point.
So so when he is going to be, to Candace, he is probably going to be made to apologize for sure. And again, whether we accept it or not is a whole nother story. On a quick little side note, Michael Vick has apologized a million times. I'll never accept his apology. Go ahead.
I ain't got a problem with Michael Vick. That's a country boy, but we'll talk about that another time. You know what I mean? Act Ozzy and Frederick Skip and Stephen A. They never claimed to know how it feels to be an athlete. No, but here's my thing with those two dudes. I believe that just under the surface is resentment. The fact that they're not athletes. I think both those guys, like millions of other men out there, think that I could have been like, you know, a goalie, or I could have been, you know what I mean, a power forward, or I could have been a quarterback. It is what it is. And that's my biggest problem with those dudes. I think just under the surface, there's that resentment. You know what I mean? So, but that's neither here nor there.
2K. I'm killing it on 2K. So
2K?
On 2K, I'm killing it. So
I do dunking on 13-year-old lives. I'm just dunking on their life. I remember that bit, bro. You should bring that bit back, man. That was a funny ass bit.
I do know what it's like to be an athlete in the virtual world, which is, it's funny you said that, because I don't know. I tell people this all the time. Whenever 2K, that's the only game I play is 2K basketball, right? So every year, it comes out every October. I go get the game, and then I play my season. I play with my team. I create my player. Now, here's where a lot of people try and get on me about it. It's like, because, you know, some people do where you can create the player but have the person be average, and then you work your way up in the ladder of the virtual world. You go through all the rigors, college, getting recruited, scouted to the league, all of this. They take you through all the things. There's a whole story. It's great. I don't do that shit. I create my player, and I make my player the best possible fucking athlete in the world. I said, there is nowhere in the world I'm about to struggle in the virtual world, bro.
Get plenty of that in the real world.
Exactly. I got too much of that in the virtual world. I want my life to be as easy as fuck. So in the sense of, you look at Skip and Stephen A. Stephen A. played a little bit, never pro, but Skip has not played. And this is why I wanted them to hear you say what you said about training versus experience. There is something to be said about listening to people who have knowledge about sports. It is. I mean, that's why they're getting paid as much money as they're getting paid to talk about sports. But we also have to take that with a grain of salt. And you say, well, you don't know what it's like to tear your Achilles right before you got to play in a playoff game. You don't know what it's like to fucking have a head injury because you've taken too many sacks, you know, too many hits. You don't know what that's like. But there's a market for it, bro. I mean, this is the world we live in. Think about it, man. We're in a world of social media influencers making more than fucking CEOs sometimes, bro. People who just make videos.
Look at Logan Paul. Look at Logan Paul. They got his net worth is somewhere around $45 million.
Think about that, bro.
Like, really?
And he came out making a mockery of the sport. So we can't sit here and hold Skip Bayless too much to the fire, because he's just a product of a society that he's benefited from and that he's been pimped through. It really is that, bro. It really is. I mean, like, he has been given this platform for a reason. If no one was watching Skip Bayless, just like if no one was watching Stephen A., why? You just some dude that talk sports. We could be at the bar. You're no different.
But here we are. We got a show about it. We're going to dedicate a bunch of time to these dudes. Miss Globe Girl, it's not that serious, right? And this is from earlier in the show. She's like, it's not that serious. Could it be that the operative word in his sentence was postpone and not cancel? Again, this was from earlier in the show. And Miss Globe Girl continue. And there's the problem. Cancel culture is no joke. Yeah, cancel culture, no joke. And you got people out here that just want to cancel, for whatever, however, you know what I mean? So, like, nah, man, it is what it is. So moving forward, like what? So there's gonna be this continuous outrage, right? For athletes, stuff like that. What if these athletes begin to boycott networks? Do you think would that cause pressure on the networks to do something to Skip?
If you're asking a hypothetical situation of would it if they really follow through on it, of course. Players boycotting teams, management having to do all, of course it would definitely help. Will it happen? Nope. We talking about the same sport that still has allowed Colin Kaepernick to not have a job. The same sport where it's 70 to 75% black athletes. 70 to 75%, bro. They are the product. And they had a chance to not take the field. And they could have had that dude with a job. And they chose not to. So them boycotting, I would love to see it, bro. I would love to see it. I've wanted to see this happen for decades, where players exercise their true power and say, hey, man, enough is enough. But they won't do it, bro. You said something earlier. Because when you said it, I was like, man, you know, a lot of people don't think about it that way. What was it? You said something about like these players have mouths to feed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like they have kids and families they have to take care of. I remember saying something to somebody. This is when I was talking about Kaepernick a while ago. And someone, and I had to agree, I had to understand the point. I didn't like it, but I had to understand the point. And they said, man, you trying to tell that to someone who's been poor their entire life? They got this contract dangling in front of them, and the only way they get that money is if they play. The only way they feed their family is if they play. The only way they pay for that fucking Baby Yoda diamond pendant that they just bought for some strange reason is if they go play. And that is the part that we have to understand. This is what I mean by it's a system that's being exploited, but it's also a system that people are benefiting from. So to your point, yeah, it will make a difference if they stood up and said, okay, man, we need to change some stuff here. Let's do this. Will it happen? I don't think so.
Right. And I wanted to jump on this. There was a thing that went on because we were talking about, and Brother Marcus, I seen the back, man, we'll pull you up in a second. Skip Bayless, you know, me and my buddy Jay Swans were talking right before we started the show. And we were talking about, well, you know, who's fair play and who's not. So this guy, his job is to talk about sports all over the world, right? So he sent out a tweet. I don't know. This was back August 15th of last year, 2022. Hey, Bronny, impressive, but your dad would have dunked it left-handed. You sure got away with it, though. And he's talking about LeBron James' son who was in an AAU game in Europe. And he's talking about dunking with the left hand versus the right hand or whatever. And that tweet went out. So, and then to that tweet, Jalen Rose took a shot at Bayless. Jalen Rose said, nobody should be overcritical of high school players, in particular those of professional athletes, especially if you were a junior in high school and only averaged 1.4 points. I'm just saying. Rose said it on the panel and everyone started laughing because they knew who he was talking about. So who's fair game and who isn't fair game? Like, is it okay to talk about a high school player? You know what I mean? Or is that off limits because he's a minor?
I see. We got, I guess, a two-parter. As a parent, I say it's off limits, and you know, we've had this conversation many times when it comes to protecting, you know, children and their emotions and stuff like that. But there's also a part of it that says, you know, you should prepare yourself now because you're gonna have to deal with these types of people when you become a professional. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to deal with a Skip Bayless talking shit on you just because you play. So there's a part that says, man, you should probably prepare yourself now for that. But also, man, you know, that particular high schooler has been in the news for a long time, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
so you're
saying
he is. He's kind of like he is a celebrity to an extent.
And his dad put him there. His dad by saying, I'm doing everything to get my kid to follow the same path, but with an easier route than me. He put him there, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. If you can help your kid have a better life, I'm all for it, bro. That is not the problem. The problem is that you have put your kid in the spotlight. Let me ask you this. What are Michael Jordan's kids doing?
Not playing basketball.
Not playing basketball. And welcome. We got Brother Marcus up in here, man. My favorite devil dog. I'm always talking about this brother, man. What's good? Welcome.
What's good, Jen?
So,
how you doing?
We're doing all right, man. We wanted to bring you up. Oh, go ahead, Ty.
see how he said like not playing basketball. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was one of his sons that said he decided not to do basketball because the pressure of playing basketball, being Michael Jordan's son, was just great. It was too great. It was too great for him to do. And so I'm saying with Bronny, like this, I would hope that his dad is preparing him for this type of stuff because Skip Bayless is a troll, bro. He's just a very well-paid troll. That's it. That there's nothing more, nothing less. He's a very knowledgeable, well-paid troll. That's it.
I give you that. And Miss AK Alien is saying that there's a way to critique minors. You have to build them, not tear them down. So I think she means you need to build them up, not tear them down. I don't agree with that. I think young men should be run through the ringer. You know what I mean? I think that might be the difference between, you know, like a male and female perspective on that. I think you should get beat down. I think you should run through the gauntlet. You know what I mean? As a young man, I think as a young woman, I would take it a little. I wouldn't be as hard on her. But if she wanted to do something that's hardcore, then I would run her through it as well. Like, oh, you want to go live this life? You want to go do this?
I could just picture DL saying train the kids like Coliseum, like it's 300, and just punching the kid and like, get up, stand up, kid.
I wouldn't be punching them, but I have another kid punch them. I would be sitting there making it happen.
There you go, smart. There you go. Nah, mea culpa.
So Marcus, what's your knowledge, bro?
No. Well, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Is there feedback on my end?
No, it's not your end. That's on our end, but it's cool.
Oh, okay, my bad. So here's the thing, right? Back when that show started, Undisputed, 2016. Before that, obviously, I heard the gentleman. He broke it down perfectly too. Fox, FS1, they all sailed the ship. Where I think Skip and the people, the boardroom, they brought up the idea, the concept for them to run the show together. I think to collaborate in that network. And the one person that I knew that Skip said himself, and he said it accordingly on a previous episode. He said, "There's only one person I want to work with, and that's with Shannon Sharp. Nobody else. I want to work with him. Out of all people," he said he was willing to work with others, but the one person for sure he wanted to do a show with was Shannon Sharp. So all you guys that are Shannon Sharp lovers / Skip haters, be careful, because if you cancel that show, you're not only going to tarnish him and affect him, you're going to affect Shannon Sharp as well. Does Shannon Sharp have a successful YouTube channel? Yes, he does. Is he about to hit $1 million? Yes, he does. However, but that show, it is what it is because of both of them. And a lot of people have given Skip credit for, because Skip has put them on. Skip has put several people on. So I'm not.
I was going to say this. It's not pushback, but here's an alternative thought. What if the board of directors, the powers to be, want to get rid of Skip? They've been waiting for an opportunity to get rid of him because maybe he's gotten a little bit too old. Maybe they don't like that. Wouldn't this be the opportunity to do it and replace him with the younger version? Hey, Todd, do you think something like that might be in play?
Not with Skip, and not for this.
Nope.
Not for this. Now, board members are always looking at their bottom line. I told you, it's always their bottom line. It's not Skip's bottom line. It's always the network's bottom line. So if Skip, if the ratings changed to where they were like, okay, they start seeing a decline in his ratings for the show, of course they'll look for the smallest thing. But this won't be that, because Undisputed is the only show that rivals First Take. You know what I'm saying? It's the him and Shannon, they work so well together because that dynamic being counter to him and what he had at First Take. So they're going to look at that, and unless it's something catastrophic, they're not getting rid of him over this. Again, there will be something where he has to address the blowback. He will, no question. They're probably drawing up some shit for him right now, but they're going to look at their money. They look at their money and they say, wait a minute, does he still make us a lot of money? Okay, yep, still makes a lot of money. All right, man, give your apology. We're good. See you next week.
And brother Marcus, it sounds like you're agreeing with Ty on this. You don't think that there's a plot out there maybe to get rid of Skip and they could use this to do it?
I mean, from your perspective, they could, right? But it goes back to what Brother Ty said. It's about the numbers. It's about what's going to sell. Part of why people tune into a certain channel is because they want that controversial back and forth, that Lex Luthor, Superman, that Batman, Joker type thing, right? They want to see that. They want to see the never ending, even though sometimes they may, agree on certain things. They like the pushback he gets. Skip, for example, he backs up Tom Brady. Shannon Sharp criticizes Tom Brady to the fullest. And so that's the balance right there: salt and pepper, sugar and spice. Everything nice. So that is why they make a dynamic duo. That is why they have almost 3 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. That is why it's been on the up and up for no matter how long. And that is why that show, and I'm going to say it, and I don't care, they can come at me, that dominates compared to First Take and all the other sports type of content. Because you have Rich Eisen, you have Colin Coward, but they still don't come to the close to the views, the networking, the fact that Lil Wayne collaborated and made their theme song for them, the fact that other people from other networks come through there for them. Yeah. They rotate the women. That's the one thing that does change is the women up there. No offense to them, but they're all pretty ladies. They're all pretty ladies. You know what I'm saying? And I like them too, but it is what it is. And as far as Shannon Sharp said it himself, he would not want to do that show if Skip isn't there, if they get rid of him. But then again, money talks, so who knows? Whatever.
Yeah. What'd you say about the women? They all what?
They all rotated.
They fine. They fine, but they rotated.
They all fine, huh?
Holla, 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 holla.
He trying to put his beard in. I see you, Marine. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, this is my rifle.
Hilarious.
So this is my rifle. This is my gun.
1,000%, bro. Everything he said. Hey man, they look at the money, bro. They look at the money. And
don't forget too, Shannon Sharp, when he started his business too with the alcohol, and he said it himself, and Undisputed helped me put on all the numbers I got. Undisputed. When he did the alcohol and then he did his own YouTube channel, woo boy. So of course they're gonna want to keep him. They should.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm looking at Brother True's comment. Ultimately, it's going to be up to Shannon if the show survives or not. So, and again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. And I don't think this will happen, guys, because I think Shannon Sharp is a very loyal man. But what if Shannon Sharp was on some Machiavelli shit and is like, you know what, get rid of Skip? Would they do it then?
Nope.
Still no.
Because it's the best way to put this, man. Skip is good at what he does. I know. I said he's a very well-paid troll, but he's good at what he does. And since he is good at what he does, there's a certain it's the straight man versus the comic of a team.
Like kind of Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis kind of thing,
exactly. Kind of thing. And even when you listen to games being commentated, there's one who does the play-by-play. And then there's one who does the commentary. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can call the plays out while the other person looks at the play, analyzes the play, and does the commentary on the play. And I think Shannon does absolutely great at what he does. He's one of the main reasons I watched the show, because I love that he would come from a real perspective, and he always seemed like that dude that just came from the barbershop and then just walked in the studio to start talking about the shit he was just talking about at the barbershop. So I love that. I love that about Shannon. And I think that as long as he's able to keep that in that lane, that's why the show works. I don't think Shannon is that dude that'll be like introducing segments and doing all this. No, I think that's what Skip does. And Skip has his knowledge, he throws it in, and you need a realer, more grounded perspective from the other side, which is what Shannon does, and I think that's the lane that he works perfectly in.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Like, I love watching them two on, like, when they're calling games. Like, when I was watching football, and it's like, because Troy Aikman, one of the greatest to ever play, and you got Joe Buck, this guy who's just perfect. He has the voice. He knows he knows the lingo. He's perfect at keeping track of what's coming up, this down and that. So I get you. And so you're saying both of them at the hip. There's no way to continue making money on that brand without both those men.
I think you need to look at and Mark. I mean, I don't know if you see this the same way, but when they had that fight where like Skip called him out, which again, that's where I have my main problem. I think Shannon should probably put him in check a lot more.
Well, yeah, because that's why Skip went a little below the belt. He went too personal. Like, I don't think you should have. Like, that's not the response that I would give.
That's my only knock on Shannon is that, bro, they ain't getting rid of you. You should go back at that dude like you would if he was on the street. I mean, I ain't saying punch him in the face, but I'm saying talk to that dude and let him know, hey man, I ain't gonna have you disrespect me on public. I ain't gonna have you disrespect me. That ain't gonna happen. So
because Shannon is built like a tree trunk, so the guy,
exactly,
he's not no small dude.
Exactly. So I feel like I don't think Shannon would leave. But I also feel like, but I think Shannon, like you said, Shannon knows not necessarily where his bread is buttered, because I feel like that's a demeaning way to put it. But I think he knows how he's gotten to where he is and able to make these other revenue streams, if that makes any sense.
I hear you.
Right.
Brother Charus had in the chat, he was like, that Shannon has a broader reach in the market than Skip. FS1 can market a show led by Shannon and someone else. Not everyone can work with Skip. And so I wanted to highlight that, and I wanted to show that because, Brother Charus is here. So Brother Charus and Brother Marcus, first of all, what's up, man? First of all,
Marcus, hey, Ty, nice to meet you, man.
What up, man?
Charus.
and that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna introduce you guys. Ty, that's Brother Charus. He's a Cleveland Browns fan, so it is what it is. But he also but he served the United States Army just like me and you. And of course, next to us we got the Devil Dog. So we got to make the Devil Dog feel comfortable, man.
Pray! This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
I'm gonna get your ass back. Watch.
Got to make you feel good for that. But Brother Charus, man, so go ahead, man. What do you mean by that exactly?
First off, just like you was devastated, Dio, last night, I'm glad you actually hopped on, because as soon as you said that, I looked and holy shit, man. So I hope this young man please recover. Please recover.
Right.
What Skip Bayless said was straight up out of pocket. And yes, in hindsight, we could go look at what this man was trying to say, but but y'all know me. I don't do the whole, well, what he's trying to say is, nah, this is what you said, buddy. This is what you put in black and white. That being said, ultimately the show is going to depend on whether or not Shannon Sharp comes back, because like you guys probably already said, he wasn't there this morning. He might not be there tomorrow. And we already know that, yes, as the show existed itself, it's skipping Shannon, but without Shannon, that show ain't shit. Because Shannon, even though, yes, he does show his loyalty to Skip, at the end of the day, Shannon's also reached out other places. Look at his pod. That's one of the fastest growing pods out. He's given some of the dopest interviews imaginable. And since he's already branded within FS1, think about it. Him and Colin are tight. Him and Nick Wright are tight. Him and Broussard are tight. He knows NASCAR, so they always bring him like special guests and shit like that. Like, Shannon has a way broader market appeal, and you could even throw him on other Fox programs as well. He has such a broader appeal than Skip, especially because Shannon actually engages with fans on Twitter. Skip just YOLO posts. You know what I mean? He'll just post some shit and he doesn't engage at all. So ultimately, it's going to be whether or not Shannon comes back, because man.
So Ty, what's your take on that? Because it seems to be, because I don't really know it that well, because I don't really rock in that world. I see clips or whatever, but I'm not tuning in like that. But I know how the dynamic works, and I can go ahead, bro.
I agree. I agree with you in the sense of his appeal. But if it comes to that show, no, he needs to just leave the show. Then he can
the
launch
show's not
something.
going to survive. I agree with you, Todd.
That's what I'm saying. So if he decides to go under another brand on FS, he has carte blanche. He's very right about that. Like, that dude, he can go and do a different and call it a different show. But as far as Skip and Shannon goes, it's no point in doing it without Skip. If you're not gonna, I mean, you might as well just create your own show and just use that marketability to do something else, because that is very true. Like, Skip is not the most likable person other than in that vein. But this is what I mean by, like, in his vein, there's a core audience that loves exactly what Skip does. There's no way in the world that dude would be around this long if he didn't have a core of people that love that. Now, again, this is going to come down to revenue. They're going to look at the numbers, and they're probably going to look at what Truce just said. There's some executives right now looking at his Shannon's numbers, and they say, okay, well, look, a lot of people like him here, and we could probably use him. They're looking at all of that before they come back to anything. And if it comes back to where they say, well, they can split, you better believe that's what's going to happen. But if they say, hey, man, look, let's try and work this out, issue an apology, hope that people accept it, whatever, and then we keep it pushing. But
yeah, like Ty, to actually co-sign on you, I agree with that scenario, because that's exactly what the executives are looking at, and they're also looking at it from your perspective and what you and Marcus pointed out. That dynamic is what helps bring that show together,
right.
And so, yes, Shannon is going to have ultimate say so, because if he doesn't come back, there's not going to be a show. Obviously, like you said, there's not going to be either or. However, the reason why I say Shannon ultimately has say so is because if Shannon, accepts Skip's apology, the executives are going to run with it, because the biggest problem is they can market Shannon, but like you said, Undisputed, that time slot specifically, what the hell do they do with that? Because it's not, like you said, it's not Undisputed anymore. It's something else. And I don't know if you guys watch it, but that Carlton show that comes on before, trash.
See? You see what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, I don't even tune into Fox other than to see Skip and Shannon. Like, I do like Colin Cowherd sometimes, but he also strikes me as a dude that needs the spotlight by himself. He doesn't strike me as somebody that wants a co-host like that. You see how they always have the girl off to the side. Like, they never have the girl sitting there next to
him. Shout out to Joy Taylor. She's a babe.
Yeah, see, that's ultimately going to be the problem, because Skip has already gone into it with with at least two of the hosts that were women. And then, y'all already mentioned it a couple of days ago when Skip really crossed the line talking about Shannon's career and like in a personal level. That was some serious shit.
So it sounds to me as the guy who's pretty much outside the loop. But the four men on this panel, I seem to know the least about it, because I don't really watch and all that kind of stuff. It sounds to me that this might be headed for the breaks as far as Undisputed. Shannon didn't show up today. I don't know if anybody's, I don't know if he's been tweeting. I don't know if anybody's been talking to him. I don't know if he did a special broadcast on his podcast to talk about this. Could Skip have gone too far with Shannon? And then you throw on top of that his tone deafness on what was going on with Damar Hamlin. Could this be the end of Undisputed? We'll go with Ty, then Marcus, then Teruse. Go ahead, Ty.
I don't think it's the end. I think, to be honest with you, the shit that Shannon did, the shit that Skip did to Shannon before, to me, would have been the end. That if anything was going to be the end of a working relationship, it would have been that. This seems more like, hey man, you just didn't understand what was going on with the situation. But if you trying to challenge my career on national TV, like I ain't shit, oh man, no, we got to deal with this a whole nother way. So for them to come back after that show, I don't think that this will be the breaking point, unless the executives, like Taru's point, and if they look at the numbers, the execs will determine whether this is the breaking point. Not Shannon, not this.
Not Shannon. So, all right, brother Marcus, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to be honest, if like Ty said before, but sorry, it's kind of mumbled. Like Ty said before, if it wasn't for that, if they can get past that issue with the whole, how he did personal the other week, calling out Brady, the segment. If they can get past that, I'm pretty sure they can get past this. But like numbers, man, business, revenue. We'll see when it comes down to it. So other than that,
brother, you put some good stuff in the back chat. You should be saying it, not putting it in the back chat. Let everybody hear, man. You were saying about how long Skip's been in the business and what you were saying about Shannon. You want to go ahead and share that with everybody?
Yeah. I mean, like Skip was covering college and professional sports since at least the 70s when Roger Staubach was the quarterback for the Cowboys. He was covering even sports when the college he was going to. I can't remember exactly the college he went to.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. There you go. Thank you so much. Shout out to Teruse for coming in clutch. But other than that, I know on Insta and Twitter, Shannon did post relating to the topic of what happened to Mr. Hamlin for he's in critical condition and he wouldn't be going to work. However, Skip decided to go to the studio and do that. So he also posted on Twitter. He posted on his Insta because I do follow him on Insta and I follow him on his YouTube channel. So,
All right.
That's it though.
That's it. And then Brother Tarus, you'll be next. But I just wanted Brother Marcus to share that because there is that time in position. Like he's got that tenure. And it's like kind of like the executives are going to look at that as well. So what are your thoughts, bro?
I think the reason why Shannon didn't come to work today was because of this issue. And I don't know if you guys caught the show, but because Shannon wasn't there, Skip tried to explain his shit away, and it just kind of made it look worse. And it was clear why Shannon didn't show up. I think, from my perspective, I think this is the way of Shannon truly checking Skip the way he should be checked. Like, hey, bro, this is also my name on the line too, being associated with you when you say these things. I think this is one of those like, hey, chess moves, like, hey, bro, remember, it's both of us, not just you. You can't be saying shit like this.
It's like, so you fucking with both. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Like Marcus and Ty said, the fact that they did come back or Shannon did come back and do that show after that, right? There's clearly a respect level there.
There's a code there. There's a code.
But ultimately, man, Skip, this is his doing.
Yeah.
This is
At the end of the day, this is his doing.
And ultimately, however this goes, he got nobody to blame but himself.
So we'll roll this into final thoughts, man. Did you want to make that your final thought, or did you want to add to?
Yeah, I'll make that my final thought. Yeah.
That's your final thought. So, Brother Tarus, and then you'll be next, Brother Marcus. So, Brother Tarus,
all right, my bad.
Where can people find you, man? Anything you want to plug out there? I mean, I know you're moving around in these YouTube streets. You in these trenches, you making a name for yourself, let's say. Where can people find you, bro?
Once again, DL. Hey, Marcus, good talking to you again, man. Ty, again, nice to meet you.
Yes,
DL,
sir.
once again, thank you.
You too, bro.
Thank you for inviting me to your pod. Always love coming on. You guys could just find me at Tyrus. Just type that shit into the fucking YouTube thing, and you should find my face on there. You put Tyrus_05. You can find me on IG. DL, unfortunately, I've listened to you in JP, and I think I'm going to have to be forced to make my own platform. I didn't want to. I just wanted to be part of the broskies, but
I'm loving what I'm hearing, bro.
I'm gonna try to build a channel.
We'll talk about that online, bro. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great channel, and I'm gonna hit you up, man. I think tomorrow or the next day we need to go ahead and have this. We need to do a continuation on our Red Pill Talk, man, and talk about relationships and stuff like that. So, hey, y'all, I'm telling everybody now. You gonna watch me? You want to see Tarus scream and take his clothes off and start doing push-ups in the background? You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna take off the hoodie, he's gonna take off the t-shirt, start doing push-ups. It's gonna happen tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. You free tomorrow? Let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I've been waiting to get my brain cracked like this, bro.
All right, here we go, man. Set it up for tomorrow, man. I'm gonna hit you up offline. We're gonna work it out. So, hey, guys, thanks again, brother, for coming through, man. I'm gonna holler at you. Peace. Brother Marcus, man, your final thoughts.
Yeah, my bad. I just remembered it too. The linebacker who got injured from the Steelers game 5 years ago, Ryan Shazier, ended up being paralyzed almost. Mm-hmm. I think he was actually paralyzed, and he had to retire from the league. He just started walking not too long ago, but they still continued that game after that happened. Yes. They still went on and played after. Now the difference is, obviously, I don't think anybody posted the way that maybe Skip posted it, but at the end of the day, people still continue to play. The fans still pay for their ticket. I know it sounds a little insensitive, but I'm only saying that because I'm saying it from their perspective, the fans who pay to watch that game. And again, condolences and prayers to Mr. Hamlin. Hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. Hopefully nothing too severe and he gets out of there on God's grace. But like I said, fans paid for the ticket. They want to see the game, and maybe some of them that resonated with Skip's side resonated with that kind of stance as well. And remember, don't forget, Ryan Shazier, just like there were other players before but gotten some serious injuries and almost paralyzed, and they still continue the game. But like I said, I hope they don't cancel that show because whether they get rid of Skip or not, it won't be the same without him. I don't think it would be, and I don't think it should be leading up to that. But like Ty said too, numbers, business, money. That's what it comes down to. Money, money, money. It runs the world. So, and
It's
money
the
and power.
almighty dollar, bro. It's all money. It's Cream, man. Cash moves everything around me. Shout out to the Woo. Cash moves everything around me. Cream.
Dollar bills, y'all.
That's it, man. So, hey, you want to plug anything? Tell people where they can find you, anything like that?
Yeah, you know what? Shout out to the deal saying I really want to know podcast. Make sure you hit the link, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, hit the Cash App. Anything to pay for the beers and the bottles and the women, the lavish lifestyle. Shout out to Brother Ty as well. Make sure anybody that goes follows him, supports him and his content. Nice to meet you as well. Nice, good talking to you. We do have a show. It's called The Weekly Drop on the JBJ Network. We do it Wednesdays. We usually do anything that a little bit of everything: sports, media, entertainment. It could be anything from drug trafficking to sports to what things that are seriously going on in the world. And keep you guys entertained, keep you guys engaged. We appreciate you all. I run the co-host with Wally from Well Talk Production, Wally Media. I appreciate you all. Be safe out there and have a happy new year. Nothing but the best for y'all.
Same to you,
Same
bro.
to you, brother. And do me a favor, drop that link in the chat, man, so everybody know where to find you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for always being there, supporting and rocking with a brother. So, Ty, man, just down to me and you, man. What's your final thoughts on all this?
I'm gonna say that again. I don't really think it came out. I don't think he meant it exactly the way people are running it. I don't think that. But if that's the case, then he definitely should issue an apology. Cancellation? Nah, it's. Well, man, we've had to accept so much other foul shit from people in much higher positions in life. I'm not gonna sit here and say that dude needs to have his career taken because of this type of insensitivity. There's a difference between vulgar, offensive insensitivity. That's not what this is. This is, like you said, tone deaf insensitivity. The bottom line will come down to money, which I think they make them too much money for him to be canceled. I honestly feel like Shannon should have checked them on that other thing because that one was way more out of pocket on a personal level. This was just more like this dude he can't read the room. It won't be canceled, in my personal opinion. It won't be canceled. And I do think that, maybe this would shine a light a lot more on the sport. It's a brutal sport, man. And the only reason it continues to keep going is because people watch it. Like Marcus said, people want to see it. They want to see it. Even if they give it their prayers, they want to see that. So maybe this will make them think twice about a lot of things. Safety, putting player safety. Like, look at how much stuff had to happen with CTE before them to really take it seriously. Look at how many people had to die, how many lives had to be destroyed. So hopefully it shines a light on that. But yeah, I don't think it'll be canceled. And I think Shannon should use that newfound fame, bro, and likability, and don't let Skip push you around. Don't let him push you around. You bigger than him, literally. Literally bigger than him. And I think that's about it, really. And as far as plugs, I guess. What can I say?
I got the first plug for you. And let me pull it up. There it is. There's the first plug right there. Man, I don't know. With Ty Barnett and Don Lewis. Yo, we're gonna set the date. It says it's 8 days away. We're gonna do it sooner than that, y'all. We're gonna talk about everything Hollywood. You'll be able to find it on this platform. But that's one plug. And then Ty, what's everything else, bro? Man, I ain't looked that young in a long time. We picked two pictures of us and we both look young as fuck. Like, damn. I didn't even think about that, bro. Yeah, damn, my bad.
Like, wait, hold on. Oh, that was the optimistic Ty. Oh, that guy. I remember him.
Had the whole world in front of him, Ty.
Exactly. That was pre-AARP Ty. Nah, man, I would say the other things coming out is, again, the launch of the official branding of Ty Barnett. It's weird because like I was always I'm not talking about myself in the third person. I'm just saying I've built up this network of things over the years and knowledge and knowing how to shoot, edit, all of these things, market it, all of this stuff. And I finally just said this year will be the year where I don't know if it's one person, 1,000, 5,000 people will watch it, but I will put this will be put together under the umbrella of comedian Ty Barnett. You'll see everything from sketches, political commentary. There'll be podcasts to the two shows, Critical and Thinking, and then our show. There also will be a couple of acting projects that are coming up this year for you guys to look out for. One is called Gen V. It's a spinoff of the show The Boys. Basically, this is set in college. I'm on that show, and then A Million Little Things on ABC. Both of those shows come out this month. If not this month, one this month, and then the other one next month. So.
And that's what's up, man. Y'all know how we doing it. You know what I mean? We got Cody's King in the house. Dollar Bill. Y'all was talking about that Wu-Tang reference. And that's for Ty and Cody. Y'all see I'm trying to bring them on. Y'all, I'm trying to get the big names, man. We got Ty Barnett in the house, man. So, bro, I just want to thank you for always being there for me, man, no matter what I'm into, good or bad. You've always been there for me, bro, in the trenches, out of the trenches. Thank you so much, man. Y'all heard about Ty's projects. Please be there to support. We're going to continue to do updates and show what's going on. I really appreciate it. We got Brother Mandrill in the house. We got that crazy Green Beret up in the house. What's good, bro? About to matter of fact, I'm going to hit you up, Mandrill. I want to holler at you about some stuff. And so we're finished there, man. Thank you so much for rocking with us. This was a great conversation. No matter what you think of Skip Bayless and what's going on with this particular incident, I don't believe he should be canceled. I don't believe anyone should be canceled. I truly believe in free speech. You know what I mean? But if he does lose his job over it, just understand it wasn't this incident alone that got him fired or removed or wherever it is. It's a whole body of stuff.
He wasn't making enough money. That's all it will come down to.
Wasn't making it. That's what it boils down to. So thank y'all so much for being here, rocking out with us. That's Ty Barnett over here. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.